ladies and gentlemen, our chairman, Mrs. Alice Thursday.
I'm very pleased to meet you, ladies and gentlemen. No. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am very pleased to meet you to this first annual general meeting of the Dunrich group. Oh, it does hurt, this earring, Sally. I shall never be able to do it, you know, May.
Oh, go on, you sound fine.
No, it's all these shareholders. I'm responsible to them, you see. All right, Sally.
I bet they'd be more polite to you than some of the members of my trade union branch.
Oh, well, at least you all know one another. You are friends.
Were friends. They haven't been exactly friendly to me, have they? You know, I never thought the day would come when I'd get the sack and not one of the others would stand up for me.
Ah, well, don't be bitter, mate.
Anyway. You're a good friend. What time's the old basket turning up?
Oh, dear, any minute now, and I've still got to go on practising my speech. I've been so busy all day.
Well, I'll go. It was very good of you to see me again.
And look, if old Robin won't give you your job back, you can come and work for me. Be manageress in one of my shops.
But it wouldn't seem right somehow. I wouldn't have worked for it.
Oh, well, don't let it get you down too much, mate. You see, perhaps if I ask him to take you back, let you have your job back, he might take more kindly to the idea.
Well, he might, but I doubt it. Anyway, I'll go. I don't want to bump into him.
No, well, Sally, show Mrs. Carpenter to the door.
Oh, don't bother. I know the way. Have a nice dinner, you and him.
Yes,
Bye.
all right. Bye. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm very pleased to meet you to the first annual general meeting. Come in of the Dunrich group of...
Before you go down to dinner, Mrs. T, I've got something to show you.
Oh, about this meeting tomorrow, is it?
No, the archives of yesterday.
What?
I spent a very amusing afternoon in the archives at Dunrich House listing some of the things you own. Just listen to this little lot. A herd of Aberdeen Angus, the Theatre Royal at Bootle, a zoo full of elephants, and a Chinese toothpick dating back to the Ming Dynasty.
Yes, well, that's all I need.
And Mr. Dunrich won them all playing shove halfpenny.
Oh, you and your shove halfpenny. Look, I've got this speech on my brain, and Mr. Robin will be here in a few minutes. I've only asked him round to try and get Mayor job back.
Yes, I'm sorry, Mrs. T. You're right to be worried about him.
Oh, he's here. I told you.
Not too eager, Mrs. T. Sally will show him into the drawing room. Let him wait.
Oh, yes, that's right. Not too eager.
And don't mention the subject of May Carpenter till you get to the coffee.
Why?
Let the dinner do the work. Good food, wine, makes a man more amenable.
Oh, wait till I've got him a bit tipsy, you mean?
Shall we say mellow?
Oh, you are artful, Mr. Hunter. Mr. Hunter?
Yes, Mrs. T.
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
Have you had a sudden bereavement?
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, then oughtn't you to be wearing a white tie when you've got that sort of coat on?
You're absolutely right, but not tonight, Mrs. T.
Did you have a nice journey down here, did you, Mr. Robin? I mean, you
Dinner,
came away off.
yes, sir, madam.
Thank you. I'm not... dinner.
Ah, yes, of course. I've heard you have a business advisor, Mrs. Thursday, Mr. Punter, I believe.
Oh, well, I usually call him Mr. Hunter, but Punter would fit him quite as well.
Ah, yes, Hunter, that's it. He won't be with us tonight.
No, well,
Good. I make it a strict rule never to meet people with advisors and experts cluttering up the place. I think I made that clear to your secretary. After all, we're the true experts, aren't we, Mrs. Thursday?
That's right, Mr. Robin.
Will you take wine or sherry with the soup, sir?
Neither. I'm a teetotaler.
Yes, sir.
And I won't have the soup either.
Oh, dear, it's such nice soup. I mean, made proper way, not out of a tin, you know. Try some.
No, thank you. I'm not a soup man. It's a very insipid dish, I always think.
Oh, well, Mr. Robin, go straight on to the lamb, Sally. Lamb's all right, I suppose.
As a matter of fact, no, I'm not a meat eater. As a matter of fact, I don't eat much at all in the evening.
Oh, well, it's lovely spring lamb.
I'm sure it is, madam, but I'm a vegetarian. Didn't I tell your secretary that over the phone?
No, you didn't.
Perhaps we could tempt you with an omelette, sir.
No, some cheese and biscuits, that's all.
Cheese and biscuits, that's all.
That will do me very nicely.
I don't know how you keep going. You don't eat enough to keep a sparrow alive, Mr. Robin.
I'm a martyr to my digestion, Mrs. Thursday.
Oh, dear. Have you ever tried Dr. Watson's essence of licorice and honey?
I'm afraid I've never heard of it.
I'll get you some. What about a little fruit? We got some nice Granny Smiths.
Nothing agrees with me, but don't let me stop you. Please eat, drink, and be merry.
Merry's the word.
Let's get down to brass tacks, shall we? Mrs. Thursday, you've put up the wages in your shops, I hear.
Some fruit, sir. Sally, fruit.
No, thank you.
Not been a bad old day, is it?
£2 a week extra for all your shop staff. That's an extraordinary step to take, considering the economic situation.
Been a bit of a cold breeze, but, 'cause I don't like the wind, it goes through me.
I was talking of your shops, Mrs. Thursday. The weather can look after itself.
Oh, I never talk business till coffee time, Mr. Robin. Besides, it's not my shops I want to talk about, it's yours.
Oh, could we have coffee now, do you think?
Some apple pie, sir.
No, thank you. All I require is a little cheese and a coffee, if you don't mind. You're very astute, Mrs. Thursday. You know this. These business dinners, I see, never talk business till the coffee when the faculties have started to dim and blur. But we don't need to play that sort of game, do we?
Coffee will be here directly, sir.
Well, I don't want to stop you talking, Mr. Robin. If you've got something on your mind, you must get it off. Better out than in, as they say.
Good. Now let's put our cards on the table. I believe I know why you asked me to see you.
Do you, Fancy?
This wage increase has put up your costs by 20%, but it's my shops that will suffer, and you know it.
Why?
Because, madam, news travels. The increase your assistants have got will make mine dissatisfied. They'll start looking for other jobs unless I put up their wages too.
Oh, that's a thought, isn't it?
Oh, I'm not mad. No. I see your little game. This is a maneuver to force me into action. You want me to buy your shops, don't you?
Do I?
Of course you do. All right. What's your price?
Have you got any nice hobbies, Mr. Robin? Like Ludo, bingo, anything like that?
Business is my hobby, madam. But let's drop this formality, shall we? My first name is Christopher. May I call you Alice?
I don't mind. Cheese all right?
Excellent.
Not too strong. Strong cheese gives me the nightmares.
You were asking about hobbies. I read a lot. Lives of great men. Rothschild, Morgan, Napoleon. I have a huge collection of biographies.
No, I like books about animals. Lassie Come Home. Books like that.
I have many paintings, and I watch films in my cinema.
You got your own pictures? And you watch them all by yourself?
I'm afraid so, but not from choice. But my favourite pastime of all is my railway. I drive a train.
You're having me on.
No, I have my own miniature railway.
Oh, you mean a train set?
No, a proper railway built to scale.
Where does it go to?
Nowhere. It's on my Bedfordshire estate. 7 miles of track, 2 engines, lots of trucks. Oh, it's splendid fun. One day, you must come and see it.
Oh, that'd be lovely. I like trains.
Oh, you're just being polite. I expect you to think I'm a fool playing at trains at my age.
No, why not if you like it? I dare say it keeps you out of mischief.
Not always, Alice.
Coffee, madam.
What about you? You're a widow, I hear. How is it that an attractive woman like yourself...
We was talking of my shops.
Black, sir?
Oh, yes, of course, the coffee. Right. I will give you $1.25 million just for the shops. Taken out of your group, lock, stock, and barrel. Then I can restore some sanity to the retail trade.
I suppose that means you drop the wages down again.
Of course. After all, you only raised them to get a price for your shops, didn't you? I see your game very astute.
No, I gave our girls extra because I thought it was a dead liberty to asking them to work for the money they was getting.
Well, Alice,
yes,
please.
and I only asked you here, Mr. Robin. Well, to try and get May Carpenter a job back. Oh, you can choke. Sacking a woman after 20 years?
May Carpenter, that troublemaker.
Oh, she's not a troublemaker.
Listen, I came here to make you an offer for your shops. Though, mind you, I wouldn't mind buying that forest of yours as well.
A forest?
In Scotland. It'd make a set with my furniture factory, far cheaper than importing timber. Though I know George Dunrich would never have sold that to me. Just to be spiteful.
Oh, you make it all sound like a game.
'Tis a game, Alice, the money game. Well, what about it? Supposing I make you a better offer for your shops?
No, but I don't want to sell.
You don't? Then what the devil did you ask me here for?
Well, I told you to ask her to give May Carpenter a job.
You
then.
are the richest woman in the country, and you pretend to be
I'm not
interested in May
pretending.
Carpenter.
She's my friend.
I've had enough of that woman. She's out and she stays out.
well, you need
And
to
I ask
shout
you not to interfere in my affairs.
Oh, now hold on. I mean, I used to be a customer.
Never again, madam. Just you set foot in one of my shops and you'll soon get short order. Where's my...
Good night, sir.
Well, he was in a state, wasn't he? I thought he was going to bust a boiler.
Well, you did the stoking, Mrs. T.
Yes, wouldn't eat my food, tried to get off with me, then insulted me. Oh, I'm not having that sort of treatment, not from
Money
those
is power, Mrs. T, and he's got both.
Yes, well, he's not the only one, is he? Not the only
Oh,
one.
you've got something on your mind,
No,
I
and
can
if he
see
thinks
that.
he's going to come here and chuck his weight about like that, he's got another thing coming. Oh, I'm starving. Let's have a bit of that roast lamb.
Certainly, madam. Dinner is served.
Thank you, Punter.
Sorry.
Where did you put them, Sally?
In the drawing room, Mum.
Oh, dear, I suppose I'd better see them. Fancy coming this hour of the morning.
Morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Thursday.
Well, you're up early. Couldn't you sleep?
I'm always up early, Mrs. Thursday.
Oh, well. What do you want? What can I do for you both?
Well, we'd like to see you before the shareholders' meeting.
But that's not for hours yet this afternoon.
Yes, I know, but we've both got very heavy engagements all morning.
Well, I should let me know. I was just going out shopping. Any sign of May, is there?
No sign of her yet.
Oh, dear. I said 9:30. I do hope she got the message.
Did you say you were going shopping, Mrs. Thursday?
Yes, that's what I said.
That's a good idea. Now, why don't you take the whole day?
And what about the meeting?
Yes. I've been practicing my speech. Kept me awake half the night.
Yeah, well, something's come up about this afternoon's meeting that makes it rather more difficult than we thought. It needs urgent discussion.
You see, Mrs. Thursday, it's been a good year.
Oh, capital year.
Profits up over $1 million, a 16% dividend, and everybody's very pleased.
Oh, what's it all about, Mr. Lever?
We thought everybody was very pleased.
And when the shareholders are pleased, these meetings are a formality. Just a handful of them turn up and endorse the board's decision.
That's the way we thought it was going to be. Plain sailing. I said plain sailing, Mrs. Thursday.
Where is she?
But we've got wind of something. There may be a motion of censure.
What's that?
Well, in simple language, the shareholders may be asking someone to resign.
Oh, no. Who?
You, Mrs. Thursday.
Me?
Can't do that. Mrs. Thursday has a majority shareholding.
Well, they can try. Oh, they won't be successful, of course. But it could reflect very badly on the standing of this group.
Not to mention the prices of the shares.
But why me?
Well, there's doubt about the future, your wage increases, your development plans for these shops.
Well, I'm not going to change my mind if that's what you're getting at.
The key man in all this is Commander Barraclough,
Soka Barraclough.
the unofficial voice of the shareholders. He only comes when there's trouble, and he makes it.
So we want to suggest to you, Mrs. Thursday, that you depute one of us to take the chair for you this afternoon.
That you become indisposed for the day.
What do you mean?
What they mean is they don't trust you,
I never
Mrs.
said
T.
that.
They don't trust you to be able to defend your policy to the shareholders. They don't think you could put it across,
But
Mrs.
I learnt my speech.
All we want to do is to protect you, Mrs. Thursday.
To shield you.
You're getting very anxious about that suddenly. Might I ask why?
Well, as I said, purely in her interest.
Look, I'm going to this meeting. I've screwed myself up to it and I'm going. I mean, if the shareholders don't like what I've done, well, they can lump it, can't they? Come in.
Excuse me, Mum, but Mrs. Carpenter's here.
Oh, yes. Well, tell her I'm just coming. Put me in a real bad mood you have now, shareholders. Well, look, if they're going to start trying any hanky-panky with me, you can tell them I'll... Oh, come on, Mr. Hunter.
But Mrs. Thursday!
No arguments. Well, you should have heard what old Robin called you. And me, didn't he?
Oh, yes.
I told you. Yes, that's for those girls that wouldn't back you up. Well, we're on our way to see them, and I'd like to give them a piece of my mind.
Look, Alice, I appreciate what you've been doing, but I've been thinking, why should those girls go on strike for me? I'd like to take that job you offered me.
No, there's no job. You're just making excuses, aren't you? Slinging it all in. And I thought you was a proper old suffragette.
Well, I'm tired of fighting, Alice.
If you let old Robin walk all over you after all this time, you'll never forgive yourself. No, we're going to your old shop and we're going to talk to them girls.
So, Christopher Robin, watch out for Alice.
Good morning, madam.
Cornflakes?
Cornflakes. Packet of cornflakes, please, miss. A packet of cornflakes, please, miss.
Oh, yes, madam.
And a bottle of olive oil.
Oh. Hello, Mrs. Carpenter.
Hello, Doreen.
Doing some shopping?
Yeah, I just came along with Mrs. Thursday to help her get a few bits and pieces.
I thought I'd seen you somewhere before. You're Mrs. Thursday.
That's right.
Oh, half a tick. I'll get your olive oil.
You never told us you knew Mrs. Thursday.
Oh, yes, Maura, known each other for years. We're old friends.
You, Mrs. Thursday? That's right, and I've come to see you about Mrs. Carpenter.
Oh, what's it like to be rich, Mrs. Thursday?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's very nice sometimes.
Have all the clothes you want, people waiting on you.
I gone a trip round the world. I always wanted to go to the Bahamas.
Mrs. Thursday, how often do you have your hair set? I'd have mine done every day.
No, just once a week, do you, same as always.
Oh.
Now, how much do I owe you?
What? Oh, that's £3.17 per fortnight, please. Here. What are you doing shopping in a dump like this?
I came to see you.
Who? Me?
All of you. What's your name, dear?
Sheila Benson.
Well, Sheila, were you here when May Carpenter got the sack?
Yes, I thought it was a rotten shame after the... way she...
Good morning. Can I help you?
No, thank you. I was just having a chat to these young ladies.
These young ladies have work to do.
This is Mrs. Thursday, Mr. Byleman.
That is what I gather. And this is Mrs. Carpenter. Good morning, Mrs. Carpenter.
Good morning, Mr. Byleman.
I hope you're not here trying to cause trouble, are you?
Oh, we just came in here to do some shopping.
That's what the shop's for, isn't it?
The girls are not employed to gossip, madam. Back to work, girls.
That's it, he'll get straight on the blower, straight to
Do you
head
think he
office.
will?
Mind you, what can they do? We're here by rights, doing some shopping.
And other things. You in the union, dear?
No.
How long have you been here? 3 weeks. And you, dear?
11 years. But I don't intend to stay.
Do you think if you got more wages, you might settle?
Oh, yes, I might. Till I got married. I could do with a ride.
We could all do
That's
with
what
a
I was
ride.
trying to get for
No,
you.
and that's why she got the sack.
Exactly.
If you'd all stuck up for her, she'd have still been here and you'd have had your rides.
No,
Right.
she
Yeah, but I want to
Now,
work.
I've travelled with Carpenter longer than I can remember.
And now she's standing in the middle of the shop,
Well, dear,
making a
not
speech,
which
carrying
I
on.
stop You, but yes.
Me, sir?
And she didn't have
Ask
to stay,
Mrs.
but
Thursday
she's got
to leave?
principles.
But,
You
sir,
can do
she's
what
a...
you like,
I mean...
But I say it was disgusting
Yes, sir.
for her
Very
to
good,
have been
sir.
treated like she was.
I'll do as you say, sir.
Fought for you and
As
a
always.
lot for you, all a lot, and yet not one of you raised a finger to help her.
I have been asked.
We're awfully late.
I've been told. I have been ordered to ask you and Mrs. Carpenter to leave this shop.
Well, you can't do that. You're open for business and we're here to buy.
My orders are to ask you to leave the shop.
You're only a worker here, you know. You could be like May, out on your ear tomorrow without so much as a thank you.
A worker indeed.
Yes,
Alice.
all right, May. And if you girls have got any self-respect, you'll back your mate up. Never mind about. Come on, May.
I shall be extremely pleased if you don't come around here again causing trouble.
And you're the one who couldn't make a speech. That was marvellous.
I couldn't believe it was me.
Oh, yes, well, remember, Mrs. T, we don't want too much publicity. Not today of all days.
Mind you, I don't think they'll come out.
Give 'em half a mo. You give up too easy, May.
Come along, girls. We've got work to do. You're sacked. How dare you? Girls, get back to your counters. Girls, what are you doing? Where are you going? You can't do this to me. You're all sacked. No, no, no. Girls, come back. Come back, girls. Girls, you're all sacked.
Oh, good girls. What do you think of that, May? Feel like throwing it in now?
Oh, I don't know what to say.
Well, we've done it. What's next, Mrs. Thursday?
Don't ask me. This is the lady from the union.
Well, right, that's the first thing, isn't it? Got to get you signed up as members.
Well, how much does that cost?
10 bob entrance fee, 2 bob a week subs in advance.
12 bob to start with and means to start to work.
Oh, sign them all up, May, and let me know how much it is.
Oh, no, thank you, Mrs. Thursday. We'll find the money.
Good girl. Right, now listen, I'll get you down to the union office, get you signed up as members, and then we'll get official union sanction.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
What about a lift in your big Rolls Royce?
Just
We have a long journey to make.
Oh, yes, I forgot. We have a long journey to make.
Well, what about your shareholders meeting this afternoon?
Oh, well, yes, I've got one, but it's later. We've got something important to do first. Bye-bye, girls. Sorry.
Oh, what exactly do you intend to do, Mrs. T?
Get old Robin to talk sense. What you got there?
More from the archives. Fascinating.
Oh, I don't want no more toothpicks.
How about a fleet of trawlers in Zanzibar?
No, I wouldn't like that, Mr. Hunter. Put 'em away. We got old Robin to see, and that's enough to think about.
Oh, well, don't worry, Mrs. T. I'll be with you.
Yes, you're my butler, remember. I've got to do this all on my own. What? Axis turning. I think we're there. Good morning, Mr. Robin.
This is an unexpected arrival.
I brought you a bottle of Dr. Watson's licorice and honey essence like I promised.
Thank you very much indeed. That was thoughtful of you.
And you promised me a ride in your train. It's smaller than I expected. Is it safe?
Of course it is. Would you care to let me show you?
Oh, yes.
Will you drive, please?
Me?
It's quite simple. I'd like to be free to show you points of interest on the journey. Excuse me. Come along, my man. You sit there. That's the regulator, and that's the brake. And don't burn your fingers. You're not trying to get round me on behalf of that May Carpenter woman.
May? Oh, she's looking after herself, I think.
You're a very astute businesswoman, Mrs. Thursday. You're up to something, aren't you? Go on. right, Mrs. Thursday. Let's talk business.
Yes, that's all right with me.
I repeat my offer. $1.25 million for all your shops.
Oh, no, I didn't come here to talk about that. I want to buy yours.
Mine?
Yes. You don't really want them, do you? I'll buy the lot.
But that's out of the question.
Oh, no.
What did you say?
I'll give you fair price.
I've no intention, Mrs. Thursday, of selling my shops.
Oh, well. I think Bates is a bit worried.
Are you all right there?
Oh, yes, great fun. I enjoyed that.
I think your butler ought to call people sir, don't you? He's a little familiar, don't you think?
No, I don't think so.
Excuse me. Robin here.
You getting anywhere?
I don't know. Talk of trains and he becomes almost human. Talk of business and, well, he's like a frozen fish.
I've just had a telephone call.
Oh, I was just saying, Mr. Robin.
Need say no more, madam. I'd be glad if you'd leave my station immediately.
But I was making you an offer.
I've just heard what you've been up to. 5 of my shops on strike, and all because of you.
5? But I only brought out 1.
Oh, you admit it, do you? Well, let me tell you something. I'll have you up in court as a busybody.
I'm afraid you'll find there's no such law.
Speak when you're spoken to. And to think I let you drive my train.
Oh, well. Come on, Mr. Smith. No good standing here.
Certainly, madam. Your hat, sir. I see. Well, we'll be there soon. We left the motorway 2 minutes ago. Jean wants to know what we're up to.
Pleased to welcome.
The shareholders are getting anxious about the meeting.
First annual general meeting.
Well, what about the other business? Oh, I see. Thank you.
As your chairman. And what are you looking so glum about? You haven't got to make a speech.
Well, I asked Jean to keep us informed about the strike. Apparently 17 of Robin's shops are now out. You've certainly started something, Mrs. T.
Dear, it isn't as if I could find jobs for all of them.
What?
Still, somebody's got to look after them. If only old Robin would have sold out to me, I could have paid him all proper wages.
I still think he might. Just take a look at this, Mrs. T.
Oh! No, I gather Mrs. Thursday has been detained elsewhere. So have I your permission to assume the duties of chairman and convene this meeting? We have a quorum. Any objection?
Sir Charles, you have notice of a motion of censure which concerns our chairman. I trust this will not be discussed in the good lady's absence?
No, of course not. The meeting will be adjourned if she doesn't arrive in time. I shall proceed. Agreed?
Yes, go on.
Yes. Secretary, Mr. Fitzgibbon will read the notice of the meeting.
Notice is hereby given that the 45th Annual General Meeting of the Dunrich Group of Companies Limited will be held at Dunrich House 8 Norton Square, London S.W. 1 on Friday the 17th of September 1966 at 4 p.m. for the following purposes. To receive the accounts of the company for the year ended 31st of December 1965 and the reports of the directors and auditors thereon. To declare a dividend. To elect directors and to transact any other ordinary business of the company by order of the board, N.H. Altingham, Secretary.
Auditor's report.
I hereby affirm that this report is a true and fair statement of the affairs of this group, its companies, and its subsidiaries.
Well, 16% has been declared for this year, which I'm sure meets with your approval. However, before I put this to the vote, there are one or two words I would like to say.
May I ask why there are one or two words Sir Charles would like to say?
All in favour? Against? Auditor's report accepted, dividend accepted. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the election of directors. First nomination.
I nominate Mr. Arthur Timberley.
Second, Mr. Arthur Timberley. All in favour? Against?
I nominate Mr. Joseph Lever.
Second.
Joseph Lever. All in favour? Against? Agreed.
I nominate Sir Langdon Pawson.
Second.
Mr. Langdon Pawson. All in favour? Against? Agreed. I nominate Mr. Charles Blandish Burrows.
Second.
Charles Blandish Burrows. All in favour? Against? Agreed.
I nominate Mrs. Alice Thursday.
Alice Thursday. All in favour?
It is at this point, Mr. Acting Chairman, that I must refer you to my motion of censure and Mrs. Thursday's absence from this meeting. The election of Mrs. Thursday to this board would prejudice the discussion, and I know that there are those anxious to attend to other business, but I would ask for a further suspension of these proceedings to give the lady a chance to arrive and take part.
Thursday's here, Sir Charles.
Oh dear, I'm ever so sorry to be late, but I've been very busy.
I've been keeping your chair warm, Mrs. Thursday.
Oh, thank you, Sir Charles. All right, Mr. Hunter.
Yes, I'll make that call, Mrs.
Yes.
Thursday.
Well, where did you get up to?
Just there, Mrs. Thursday.
Oh, yes. Just half a mo. I've got a few notes. I think you're going to be very pleased. I've been ever so busy.
Good afternoon, madam. My name is Barraclough. I'm delighted to make your acquaintance.
Commander Barraclough.
Oh, the commander. Pleased to meet you.
And are you, madam? I have been reading of your busy morning with some interest.
My busy morning.
Your activities at the barricades, madam. If I may quote from the stock press, Mrs. Alice Thursday, head of the Dunrich Group of companies, involved in fracas in a London street. Alleged brought out workers of competitor chain store on strike. Well, madam, I realise how very lucky we are to have you here with us this afternoon in view of your other more exciting engagements. But now that you are here at last, perhaps you'd care to tell us what happened.
On a point of order, surely we must allow our chairman some opening remarks. She's apologised for being late. Now let's be civil and allow Mrs. Thursday to take over her rightful duties in the chair.
Of course. Mrs. Thursday, we had just arrived at the election of directors. We had reached your own nomination. But if you have any opening remarks, will you please say them?
Now?
Now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to welcome you to the first annual general meeting of the Dunrich Group of companies. Pages.
It's all right, Alice. You're doing very well. Go on.
Oh dear. No, I think I'll talk to you on my own. Yes, well, I don't know if I've been a good chairman, only I have tried to fight for what I thought was right and fair. And I think it's right and fair to think of the people that work for you before you think of your profits. Well, isn't it? Well, I want to know what you think. I mean, it's no good me thinking one thing and you thinking another.
Mrs. Thursday, no company can be run without some sort of guarantee of return on investment. It is one way of ensuring efficiency and a competent business.
Ah, yes, but we haven't got a competent business, have we? We've got a lot of dirty old shops and a lot of unhappy workers. Do you know there's grown men in our shops taking home less than £10 a week? Can I ask you, Commander, do you take home less than £10 a week?
No, Mrs. Thursday. You would call me a parasite, I suppose. I live on my Navy pension and my shareholdings, and I admire you for asking me. And I will confirm that I do take home considerably more than £10 a week. However, you have not yet answered my question about your activities this morning.
Well, I went to try and get my friend, May Carpenter, her job back.
then this report is true.
What you read out, yes.
And what would you think, madam, if Mr. Robin were to walk into one of our shops and organise a strike?
Well, if we was paying our girls this sort of wages, I'd come out on strike with them.
Well, really, madam, whose side are you on, management or labour?
I don't know what you mean. May Carpenter's my friend. She's always tried to help other people, so I thought I'd try and help her. Oh, well, I like May, and I don't like Mr. Robin. Do you know he's so mean he wouldn't give you a bucket of water if your house was on fire?
I see. So, regardless of what is good for this company, if you happen to decide you disliked someone, you would ignore the interests of the shareholders.
I've done nothing against our shareholders.
On the contrary, madam, that is exactly what you have done. You have brought the good name of the Dunrich Group of Companies into bad repute. And if you are half as sincere as I think you are, you will tender your resignation and dispose of your majority holdings.
All right.
Will you all please stay where you are? I have some news. Excuse me. Excuse me. Please resume your seats. Would you like a word with the chairman? Mrs. Thursday will have an announcement to make in a moment. Now, Mrs. Thursday has an announcement to make, and I have some business to attend to.
Well, yes, well, we've just taken over Robin's stores.
May I ask if you acted with the authority of the board?
Well, no, I couldn't do, could I?
You acted on your own initiative. Well, I declare that this is absolutely scandalous. I am not going to sit here and see this great company ruined.
Who said anything about ruin?
Mrs. Thursday, you have already explained to us about your personal vendetta against Mr. Robbins. You have now pressed it so far as to take him over without consultation. May I ask how much this fit of temper has cost us?
$750,000.
How much?
725, stop, note, for 29 shops, sites and all.
That's impossible. The sites alone are worth twice that amount.
Well, he's agreed, look. And then Mr. Hunter's just gone to send a messenger to get the documents signed.
If this is true, it's fantastic. I mean, if you said $1.5 million, that would have been a coup, but this...
Of course it's true. I mean, I wouldn't tell you if it wasn't.
Oh, what's come over the old buffer? Has he been drinking?
He never touches a drop.
So that's what you went to his shop for?
No. I went to try and get May Carpenter her job back.
And did May Carpenter get her job back?
Well, what do you think? But I don't know, do I? Because I'm no longer your chairman. I've just resigned.
I have very great pleasure in nominating Mrs. Thursday to serve another term as chairman of this group of companies.
And I am delighted to second. 725,000 is not so much a bargain, it's a dead giveaway.
No, please. Commander, you're not going to oppose Mrs. Thursday's nomination?
I am going to oppose any nomination that is not made by me. I move this motion of censure, and I most humbly beg to withdraw it. And I demand, or I'll sell my shares, the opportunity to nominate this excellent lady to stand again as chairman of Dunrich Holdings.
I don't know what to say. I should have to withdraw my resignation first, of course. But I don't know as I want to stay on.
Mrs. Thursday, most excellent lady, whatever humble pie you may wish me to swallow, I will, and may it choke me.
No, I wouldn't want that.
I am prepared to allow this estimable lady as head of Dunrich Holdings, and to await with interest the next installment of this incredible adventure. I beg to move.
Second.
Well, thank you very much. I have much pleasure in withdrawing my resignation. All in favour? Against?
Well, I do hope that from now on we will be the best of friends.
Oh, yes, I'm sure we will, Commander.
Well, now, do tell me how you swung this deal on Robin.
Well, it was Mr. Hunter's idea, really. Tell him all about it, Mr. Hunter.
Well, the late Mr. Dunrich was in the habit of playing shove halfpenny for very high stakes.
Shove halfpenny?
Among other things, he won a complete railway from the Sheikh of Muscador. Standard gauge and 12 miles of track.
Yes, he loved playing with trains, see? He was potty about them.
Oh, I see. Yes, I see. You mean he was prepared to sell a chain of stores in return for a 12-mile railway that doesn't go anywhere?
Yes, but I threw a forest in as well.
A forest?
You think this is all a fairy story, don't you, Commander?
Yes, that's right, dear. It is a fairy story. Take the drinks round, Sally. Now, wait before you want another one.